going to start pacing the sidelines. 1st and 10 Dallas. 17-17 in overtime. Emmitt Smith, watch out. This could be over.
It is.
Touchdown, Dallas. A 31-yard scamper for the guy that Pat feels is the best running back in the league. What a comeback from a fumble that angered him for much of the night. 150 yards for Emmitt Smith for the evening. And he wins it for the Cowboys with a 31-yard run in overtime.
Yeah, he's the best runner, and he's the best fourth quarter player too. And now maybe the best overtime player. Watch the left side of the offensive line. And you're going to see a guy that has made one big play after another, even though he struggled. He had 3 big runs, long runs. You didn't even have to have his belt thing done. Maybe
his belt thing.
The belt thing is his belt or whatever it is.
Oh boy, the fashion police in the league are going to find him for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know, watch the left side.
At least it's not a swoosh.
It is. There you go. 2-8, sealed off the inside, and Emmitt saw it, he felt it, and then he outran Charles Mitchell.
It was a close call. Which would come first, the touchdown or the possibility that his pants were going to fall down? Emmitt Smith, 31 yards. Toughest tackle provided by Michael Irvin.
Today's cars and trucks are more advanced than ever, but there is a price. Their harder working engines can wreak havoc on a motor oil, breaking it down almost immediately. That's why Castrol GTX provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol, or your harder working engine could make things hard on you. Castrol GTX, engineered for greater protection against breakdown. Now get $360 cash back when you buy a case of Castrol GTX or Syntec.
So, there's a new kind of fruit? Is it tough? Is it slippery?
No.
Then what's new about it? Oh, I see. This fruit won't shift, ride, or bunch. Hey, it's golden. The new Gold Series. It's fruit you can wear. Fruit of the Loom. Always in season.
It's Saturday afternoon, almost game time. The TV's on, your feet are up. You've got the remote control in one hand, a great tasting ice-cold Miller Lite in the other. And somehow nothing really captures the perfect feeling of the moment, quite like
Raymond the Talking Goat. Life is good.
The NFL on TNT has been brought to you by Cadillac and your local Cadillac dealer. Cadillac, creating a higher standard. By Castrol GTX, engineered for greater protection against breakdown. By Red Dog Beer, bold yet smooth, unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog. And by the only fruit you can wear, Fruit of the Loom, always in season.
Cowboys win it in overtime, a 31-yard toss, or rather run by Emmitt Smith. And did he or did he not get in?
No, we took a look at it. He did. You're going to see as his left foot hits the pylon, which is part of the goal line, he's in. Didn't go out of bounds there. Actually, it's his right foot. Excuse me. His right foot goes in. And that is a touchdown because the end line goes all around the world. It's an imaginary line.
And the suspense on Emmitt Smith's 31-yard run was the fact that his belt had come loose. Which would he make it? We now discovered the real meaning in football of a dangling participle.
We had the gerund, we had everything. We had participles. That's it.
We had Emmitt Smith rushing for 222 yards in the second half. He was 8 for 27 in the first half. He is a terrific football player, and you do not shut him out. He is our Cadillac player of the game. 150 for the night, a 7.5 yards per carry average, 2 touchdowns, and a big second half that helps the Cowboys maintain their undefeated status. Once again, the final score, the Cowboys 23 and the Vikings 17. Join us again next Sunday for NFL action on TNT starting at 7 o'clock Eastern with the Coors Light Pro Football Tonight pregame show. Then at 8 o'clock next Sunday, we'll be in Jacksonville, where Brent Favre and the Green Bay Packers take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Stay tuned now for the Steel postgame report. Ernie Johnson joins Mark May and Vince Cellini with a complete wrap-up of the third week in the NFL. For Pat Hayden, I'm Vern Lundquist saying good night from Minneapolis.
One U.S. airline can fly you to more European cities than any other. Delta Airlines. You'll love the way we fly.
My biggest asset's my people. They're experts in solving your problems.
This is Ron Camerata, Federated Store Manager. He's been in the parts business 31 years.
Federated has the quality products, quality people, and we're very competitive. Customers call, they ask your advice, they ask your help for things. That's part of being a store manager. And that's rewarding because they know that you've gone out of your way to give them what they need.
When you want the best parts and expert advice, go to your Federated Auto Parts store.
The load in that quarterback's pants is brought to you by Greg Lloyd and his Brutus Lowe, who remind you that players are made in the preseason.
Before introduction, a Moen faucet is tested at least 500,000 times against leaks and drips. So it's hard to find a more reliable faucet, no matter how you look at it. Moen. Buy it for looks. Buy it for life.
If you want to know how good life really tastes, you need to wait a few years. Caffeine-free Diet Coke. No caffeine, no sugar, no limits.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Turner Sports.
If we have moved to the cushy chairs on the set, you know it's time to put a capper on the Pro Football Day Week 3. Hi, I'm Vince Cellini, and welcome to the Steel Post-Game Report. You just watched the Dallas Cowboys beat the Minnesota Vikings 23-17 in overtime on Emmitt Smith's touchdown, 150 yards rushing. And call me crazy, Mark May, but I think Emmitt may have a little bit of business to take care of with Jerry Jones. Concerning reopening the contract, I don't know.
I think tomorrow morning, the first thing in the morning, what Emmitt's going to do is he's going to go to Jerry Jones' office and say, Deion got $35 million, I'm due for 36.
I'll tell you what, he deserves whatever he gets. Some teams maybe didn't deserve a win that won games today. It was a wild Week 3 in the NFL. Some teams were pretty fortunate to come away with victories.
Absolutely right. Today was a day where it's better to be lucky than good in the NFL. Some teams botched opportunities, missed field goals, had crazy turnovers today, but were fortunate to pull it out in the fourth quarter.
I'll tell you what, the San Francisco 49ers left no doubt in their game that took place at home against the Pats. Yes, the Patriots at San Francisco. They were supposed to play there on October 22nd of 1989. The game was shifted to Palo Alto because of an earthquake at that time. Well, today they got together at 3Com Park, and that's Drew Bledsoe And Drew Bledsoe facing another pretty tough team. He's nailed by Kenny Norton there in the first quarter. Had to leave the game because of an injury to his left shoulder. That was his mind. He's a little concerned, but don't be. Scott Zolak at quarterback to Curtis Martin on a 4th and 1. And he's stuck by Merton Hanks, so Parcells needs help. He needs his kid back in there, and Drew Bledsoe did return to the ballgame. Second quarter, and the Patriots are driving. Third down on the 49er 25. Bledsoe's pass is knocked down by Alfred Williams. They put pressure on Bledsoe all day. The Pats had to settle for a field goal. 3-0. Under a minute to go in the first half. Out of the no huddle, look at Young to Jerry Rice. 21 yards and a score, 7-3 49ers. On to the third quarter, and Young and Rice picking up where they left off in the first half. They connect on this 16-yard touchdown. And this is George Seifert. He's jumping for joy. It's 14-3 49ers. And Bledsoe, he's having trouble with the Niner defense. Merton Hanks comes up with one of 2 interceptions for him. They were trying to go to Brisbee there. And Bledsoe, just another rough afternoon. Points-wise, personally as well. Steve Young, he's doing it through the air from 1 yard out to sneak for the touchdown. 21-3 49ers. And then Young flipping to Derek Lavelle for the 3-yard touchdown. 284 yards passing for him. Steve Young is all pumped up about it. And I'll tell you what, out there at 3-Con Park, Dion Hu has become a rallying point. 28-3 San Francisco. The final numbers. Young had 3 touchdown passes. He ran for the other score. The Pats still have only 1 touchdown this season, failing to score on 6 drives inside the San Francisco 25. Here's your fantasy numbers. Jerry Rice. He's Mr. Fantasy League. 6 receptions, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lavelle, 58 on the ground, 42 through the air. And here's Curtis Martin, 63 yards. All right, we want to go back up now to the Metrodome in Minneapolis, where Ernie Johnson is standing by with a guy who ended the ball game for the Dallas Cowboys and won it. Ernie?
Thank you very much, Vince. Here with Emmitt Smith and Nate Newton, 2 of the members of the victorious Dallas Cowboys. In overtime tonight, 23-17. Right off the bat, guys, we want to look at the game-winning play and have you guys describe it for us as we look at it from the end zone angle. Emmitt, it's all you as you tell us about the game winner.
Zach Del Rio was on the line. I actually bounced outside, inside the block, cut up inside. It was nothing but room. He basically had everybody up on the line, and from that point on, it was just a foot race.
Nate Newton, your take on this. I know early on you were involved, and then it was everybody was watching 22 from behind.
Yeah, definitely. What I saw was we was going to call a bump play to go down on the center man, but they stepped up to the line, and I just grabbed the first man I saw and held on, and Emmitt jumped outside.
You know, there weren't a whole lot of folks who thought this thing was going to go to overtime. They thought Dallas will come in here, they'll take care of business. A little tougher, but maybe you guys weren't exactly clicking. Did you feel like things were a little out of sync tonight?
I think we definitely didn't play as well as we would like to play, but you know, you got to give those guys credit. They put their pants on the same way we do, and they're professional athletes just like we are. So you know, you can't take nothing away from them. They played a great ball game, and we just didn't execute like we wanted to, but we went out there and did enough to get the job done.
Nate, you must know that when you come out here, any place you visit as the Dallas Cowboys, that you're marked guys, and this gets everybody pumped up, from the fans to everybody on the other side. How do you deal with that?
Well, you know, when they first told me they don't lose in the Metrodome, we were like, okay, here we go again. They pumped up, but we had to stay settled. We had to believe that we can get it in the end. And when it went overtime, we felt we had it with Emmitt back there.
Well, you know, Emmitt, I think you finally let yourself smile. You were pretty game face out there, even after you scored. And I know there were times when you came to the sidelines, and I thought you told Barry Switzer, I've been open on plays all night.
I have.
And that's what you told him. And what did Barry say to you?
He said, just be patient, he'll find you. And you know, it was sort of disappointing for that, not only for me but everybody. I think we didn't, like I said, we didn't play as well as we like to, but we went out and executed it well enough to win the game, and that's all that counts.
Disappointing or frustrating? Was it a frustrating game for you tonight?
It was a frustrating game, because once you see an offense, once you know that you can click on all cylinders, and you come into a game and things are just falling apart in small portions, and you can't really put a finger on what's going on or what's wrong, and you know, you're struggling, and you're really not giving your best performance. You're trying hard physically, but things just not falling your way, and that's just the way it was for us tonight.
Nate, will you tell me what it's like, what kind of feeling you leave a ballpark with after a win, after you've blocked for this guy? You see the fruits of your labor pretty much on a 31-yard game winner like that.
Well, you feel good, but like Emmitt said, you know, things is frustrating. We would drop a pass, we'll miss a block, we'll mess up assignment.
So
you know, it gets kind of frustrating, but when we win, we've been taught when we win, we go in and watch films on Monday, correct our mistakes, and try to win better next time.
And, you know, you mentioned the fumble. Does that stick with you? Yes, or as a professional, can you say, okay, hit me the next one, Coach?
Well, it sticks with me. I mean, my job is to carry the ball, not lay it down on the ground. And, you know, when you fumble the ball, and if you're fumbling a lot, you won't be in the NFL for a long period of time. And, you know, my goal is to keep the ball in my hands and give my offense an opportunity to win the game. And, you know, I kind of let them down on that particular play, but, you know, we was able to bounce back and, like I said, put the ball in the end zone and score enough points where we could win the game.
Nate, did this game tell you anything about the Cowboys that you didn't already know?
No, it just tells us that we got to come even more prepared. You get more prepared during the week because everybody's going to be pumped for us. We didn't win the Super Bowl, where everybody's still pumped.
Hey, you got some buddy ball next week, huh?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Restrain your enthusiasm.
Don't get any easier,
All right.
as you can tell.
Emmitt Smith, thank you very much. Nice ball game. Thanks for joining us. Nate, thanks a lot. Yeah, they got some Cowboy fans up here at the Metrodome. The Vikings fall to the Cowboys in OT 23-17. Let us go back to Atlanta, Vince.
Thanks, EJ. Cowboy fans everywhere. You know, Mark May used to have arms as big as Nate Newton's at one time.
I wish.
All right, back to the 49ers and Patriots game. And New England has to really be concerned now. 1 touchdown in 3 games. They've made 15 trips in the red zone and come away with 1 touchdown in 3 games, Mark. Well, how do you break out of that, first of all?
Well, this is a situation that Coach Bill Parcells has to be aware of. First, the offensive team may lose their confidence. I've been in this situation before, the Washington Redskins. You're moving the ball inside the hashes from 20 to 20, but you're not scoring points. So the offense has to get their confidence back. You've got a young quarterback in Drew Bledsoe. He's thrown 149 times, but he's the only starting quarterback in the NFL without a touchdown in the air. So he's got to get their confidence back. He's got to build it up this week. He can't tear down their confidence. He's got to get in there and tell these guys, hey, you can do it. We're going to run reverses. We're going to run screens. We're going to put this ball in the end zone, but you guys keep your head up. It's very easy for a team to lose their confidence in that situation.
Well, I'll tell you what, the guys who made it happen and made those guys struggle from the Patriots, the San Francisco 49er defense. They're an underrated bunch at times because they have so many spectacular players on that 49er offense. But our Craig Sager was in 3-Comp Park and took a look at that Niner defense and what they did today.
The defending Super Bowl champions have been on the defensive lately, and that has brought out the best in them. With a quick, aggressive attack, the 49ers forced 4 New England turnovers and displayed the mental and physical toughness that has made them #1 against the rush.
Defensively, we like games like this. We like to get our chance to show that we can play ball. So often you talk about Jerry Rice and what the offense can do. Games like this, we're tested. I think Bill Parcells came out and he really tested us, and offense wasn't clicking early, and defensively, we got our chance to really show ourselves, and we're very, very proud about what we did today.
What sets the 49ers defense apart, besides the obvious, which is talent, is desire and consistency. Under new defensive coordinator Pete Carroll, there's a single-mindedness of purpose, which today was to keep Drew Bledsoe out of the end zone.
I think we went into this game trying to confuse him because he's still a relatively young quarterback, even though he's a great quarterback. And we were able to get him off his first read, and that was really key in this game. And the entire defense, the defensive line had great pressure, and we were able to cover some people every now and then. And came up big when we had to. And that's a hallmark of a defense that's getting better every game.
Bledsoe was intercepted 3 times, sacked 4, and he fumbled once. The most devastating hit by second-year linebacker Lee Woodall.
Well, the biggest play of the game for myself personally was sacking Bledsoe. I mean, I had even thought about it last night. I wanted to get in and do a blitz and, you know, get to Bledsoe and, you know, be on a highlight film or do something different. But that's the main thing for me. That was a big play for me today.
For the 49ers, the building is never complete. The quest never ends. And to the dismay of their rivals, it appears that the defense is even better than a year ago.
All right, thank you very much, Craig Sager. 2 other teams had a chance to get to where the Niners and the Cowboys were at 3-0 now. One of them, the St. Louis Rams. The other, the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, one team held up its end of the bargain anyway. We have the Rams at the Panthers, and the first ever game for Carolina at home. They're playing at Clemson Memorial Stadium, and what a big day as the Commissioner Paul Tagliabue was there to throw out the coin toss. And scoreless in the second quarter, Chris Miller, the confident Chris Miller, to Isaac Bruce. 38-yard gain. Bruce is putting together a year. He had 5 catches for 100 yards in this one. And that set up this 2-yard touchdown run by Jerome Bettis, the battering ram near the goal line. 67 yards on the ground for him. Coach Rich Brooks' team is up 7-0. Later in the second, Jack Trudeau is in for the ineffective Frank Reich. And the first play, he is sacked by Carlos Jenkins. The ball recovered by Kevin Carter. The Rams forced 2 fumbles and 5 INTs. 3 plays later, Miller to Jesse Hester, who turns Rod Smith inside out for the 23-yard touchdown catch. Chris Miller is loving it. 14-0 Rams. And the Ram defense in control. In the third quarter, Willie Green fumbles. Anthony Parker recovers. And he's going the other way. 27 yards for the touchdown, 21-3. Rams completely in control. Later, Kerry Collins was at quarterback. They played everyone on the roster at quarterback. This is his first pass, and it's picked by Torrin Dorn, who returns it for the touchdown. 31-3 at that point. Collins was sick about it. 31-10. The final numbers, the Rams host Chicago. They'll try to go to 4-0 next week. We'll give you the fantasy numbers in this game. For St. Louis, we showed you 67 yards on the ground for Bettis. Hester, 54 yards on 3 catches and a touchdown. McLaughlin missed 3 field goals. Could have been worse. Collins, we saw his numbers when he got in there as well. Cincinnati Bengals, Seattle Seahawks at the Kingdome. Quarterback Jeff Blake has led the Bengals to their first 2-0 start in 3 years. After a Seahawks touchdown, Blake to Darnay Scott. And look at this. He just finds some room and explodes through Seahawks. 88 yards for the touchdown. And that tied the game up at 7 apiece as Scott blazes to the touchdown. Second quarter, Rick Meyer really came alive in this game. They've been struggling through 2 games. Winds and throws to a wide-open Rob Thomas, who got behind every Bengal. 14-7 Seattle out in front. 21-30, 279. And a couple of scores for Meyer. In the second half, the Seahawks are up by 3. Chris Warren with the football. And Warren breaks out. That put him over 100 yards for the game. Did that touchdown. Now, 2 minutes left. The Bengals had a chance to tie in a 49-yard try by Doug Pelfrey. He made 6 field goals against Seattle last year, but he has 2 misses today. 2 costly misses, so Dennis Erickson and the Seahawks, first win of the season, 24-21, the final numbers. Here's the fantasy stuff. Warren on the ground, 109 yards and a touchdown. Blades, 7 for 74 yards. Pickens, 8 catches, 88 yards. He's now caught a touchdown in 8 straight games. All right, Mark May, what about these Rams, though? I'll tell you, Rich Brooks, they're not spectacular, but they do force a lot of turnovers, and they don't give up the football.
The Rams are doing it the old-fashioned way, by hard work. I talked to Jack Rowley, their offensive quarterback coach, yesterday, and he informed me that the Rams are using the Washington Redskins' Joe Gibbs philosophy of the 1980s. You get a big fullback, you use the one-back offense, and you just beat up the defense so they can't rush the quarterback. Chris Miller's the quarterback. He's running inside and outside, running dash plays to surround the pocket to get outside of it so there's no pressure on the quarterback. On defense, they're putting all kinds of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. They have a lot of sacks. They had 7 defensive turnovers today. 24 out of their 31 points led to those scores, and they lead the league with 12 turnovers. A plus 12, that's amazing. I can't remember when a team led the league with a plus 12 turnover.
I'll tell you, when you don't beat yourself, you always have a chance to win. Just mistake-free football. It'll keep you in ball games. All right, we do have to take a break on the Steel Postgame Report. Coming up, an in-depth look at perhaps the best division in football, the AFC West. Speaking of which, Oakland at Kansas City. Hostetler, Marcus Allen. This was wild and an overtime finish.
The Steel Pro Football Tonight post-game report is brought to you by Steel Outdoor Power Tools and by Auto Value Parts Stores, where you'll find the parts you want at the value you expect.
There aren't many things that can stop a 4x4. There are even fewer things that can stop a Steel. No wonder it's the #1 selling brand of chainsaw worldwide. Available in Steel territory.
Son, head over to the Auto Value Parts Store and get the starter and the plugs.
They've got what you want at Auto Value right now.
Plus, brake pads, a color TV, and a trip for 2 to pro football's biggest game.
It's the Big Game Sweepstakes at your nearby Auto Value Parts Store. Pick up your free registration form at Auto Value and register for Auto Value's Big Game Sweepstakes with hundreds of prizes, including a trip for 2 to the big game.
Hurry up. We're talking the biggest game of all.
Be a Big Game Sweepstakes winner at Auto Value.
When I punch the clock, I'ma work
working machine. I got boots to do the job. Got my Wolverines. I can tame a wild jackhammer. Rewrite miles of interstate. I can work like hell, never get the blues. 'Cause I feel like heaven in my Wolverine boots. Wolverine door shocks, guaranteed comfort or your money back. Work like hell, feel like heaven. Wolverine door shocks, made in the USA. You got the winning color.
I run my engine anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day, and that's constant. I've been using Pennzoil a little over 20 years, and Pennzoil has always stood by me. It's never failed me.
Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts, works like liquid ball bearings.
Pennzoil says it works like liquid ball bearings. It must, because it just keeps on rolling.
Engine problems? Before you try a tune-up, try Gum Out first. The solution could be less than $5.
There's a little terminology for you. We're going to do a bump in, and we're vamping right now on the Steel Postgame Report. Larry Cam, he's flying that boom cam like it's the Memphis Belle. Here's the AFC West. We think it's rather interesting, don't you? Kansas City out to a 3-0 start. Look at the 2-1s there. Only Seattle at 1-2. But you know what? Maybe they're not too bad. And speaking of the AFC West, one of the classic AFC rivalries got even better with the Oakland Raiders traveling to Kansas City. It harkens back to the days of the AFL. This one had a bizarre finish to it as it went to overtime at Arrowhead. Want a subplot? How about Art Shell? 27 years a Raider in some capacity. Offensive line.
Been good in the NFL, and Kansas City's both lucky and good. As you can see in the picture right here, Tim Brown gets picked by the referee. It out 23-17, and just win, baby, win. Sometimes you got to take it on the chin, big guy.
We're sorry, Al. 23-17, as he mentioned, 11 of the last 12 now the Chiefs have taken against the Raiders. Marty Schottenheimer is 7-0 all-time at home against the Raiders. Marcus Allen goes over 15,000 yards in his career, the 5th player ever to do that. Dawson with a touchdown, Davis with a touchdown. For Oakland, 20 rushes, 74 yards for Williams, and a couple of scores. Yes, this game, emotions running deep for Art Shell, and our Kevin Kiley was there as Shell shared with him some of his emotions after the game.
Did you get a sense for the rivalry from this side?
Yes, I did. As soon as the game against the Giants was over last week, you could see the mood change, like Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde. The change in the attitude was just totally different. I mean, it was awesome. And so now I got a feeling as to how this team prepared for the Raiders in the past years. They love playing the Raiders. They really do. They love playing the Raiders because, you know, they just believe that the Raiders are supposed to be the best, and they're supposed to have the best talent, and they like to meet that challenge.
Was there pain for you emotionally in this?
No pain. I mean, I'm a Chief now. My loyalty is with the Chiefs, and I want to help this football team win a Super Bowl championship. And we're on the right foot. The main thing is the attitude in this football team is outstanding. These guys believe they can win. Even though the experts have been picking them to come in last in their own division, they can't believe it. But it doesn't matter what people say about us. The feeling is we know how we feel about ourselves, and we're going to find a way to win football games.
Special? Is this special? Was it a special feeling at the end?
It's a special feeling. It's special. It's special because we're 3-0.
Can you describe your feelings when you saw Hasty pick it off and he's running? You know he's going to make it. Can you describe what was going through your mind at that moment?
I'm with the Chiefs now, and the Raiders, as I said, I had a lot of good years there. I had a lot of good years as a player, and I had a couple of good years as a coach there. But I've moved on with my life, and
can you put it behind you?
Can I put it behind me? Oh yeah, I'm a positive thinker. I believe in moving forward. I will move forward. You don't forget the past. I mean, the past is there. It's part of history. But I will move forward with my life with the Chiefs, and I will relish the time that I have with them.
Is there anything left to speak out about with the Raiders? Is there anything else you'll ever say about it?
No, as far as I'm concerned right now, there's nothing to say.
All right, thank you, Professor Kiley. We want to go back up to the Metrodome now, and Ernie Johnson standing by with a guy who had a pretty heroic performance to send the Dallas Vikings game into overtime. And now the football analyst is going to give us a first-hand view of what happened. EJ?
Thank you, Vince. 22 out of 38, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns for Warren Moon through the air tonight. But, boy, the feeling right now has got to be tough to deal with.
This is when it's tough to do this job, when you have to come out after a game like this. I thought our team really played hard. They gave everything they had. They played physical football. We got some big plays, but it just wasn't enough. And they're a great football team. You got to give them a lot of credit.
There was talk, and in fact, you said it yesterday. You got to play a perfect game if you're going to beat these guys. But still, even without a perfect game, you had a chance to win this thing.
Well, yeah, they didn't play a perfect game either, and some of that was because of us. So you know, when two teams get together like this that are very good physical football teams, which we both are, that some good things and some bad things are going to happen. And when you get into sudden death like that, you never know what's going to happen, because one big play could make the ball game, and they made some big plays, and that was really the difference.
I want to take you back to late in the fourth quarter, and you guys are driving and trying to get the equalizer here, and you're at the sidelines, and you and Chris Carter are over there. Let's take a look at this tape, and you're talking to Brian Billick, and you'll watch. You can watch him. Billick say, "A fade." This is what was, I mean, I'm reading lips. Is this true? Is this Carter's idea? Let's throw a fade on this thing and get the equalizer?
Yeah, he wanted to throw a fade, but I wanted to throw the fade stop, which is a ball where I throw it at Chris's back shoulder, because the way they play bump and run, they play over the top. And I threw the ball at his back shoulder, and Chris makes the
that's a heck of an adjustment to make. I mean, you got to know the fade stop is coming over the wrong shoulder.
Right. He gave me the signal that he was going to run it, and we went ahead and did it, and he made a great catch. I had tried it earlier in the ball game, and it just went off his hand, so I know I had to throw it a little bit more at him down there on the goal line.
What's the mood like in this locker room right now?
We're very disappointed. There's no question about it, Ernie, but we realized that we played hard and we left it all out on the field. Now, when you know you do that, there's a little bit of satisfaction there, but we still lost the football game. What we can't do is get too caught up in this one loss. We have a very tough physical game next week against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, so we're going to be disappointed for a day, but we've got to somehow regroup and get back and ready to play again next week.
What was your take on what the Cowboys were going through tonight? It looked like they were out of kilter, out of sync a little bit.
They were, but you know, some of that has to do with what we were doing. Tony Dungy came up with a great scheme against their offense. We knew because of our size, we couldn't match up man for man with their defensive line, so we had to shoot some gaps and do some different things, blitz every now and then to try and stop their running game. Sometimes you're going to stuff them. Sometimes they'll make a big play like they did a couple of times with Emmitt Smith, but you can't sit back and just catch this football team. They're too big. They'll knock you all around.
Have you seen enough of Charles Haley tonight?
I've seen enough of Charles Haley my whole career. I mean, he's just one of the best defensive ends in the league today. He's playing very well. Not only does he play the pass, but he plays the run. Just a very smart and intelligent player.
You know, we talked about the relationship between you and Chris Carter in our pregame show, but also the Jake Reed factor tonight was huge. He was right there when you needed him.
Well, they were rolling their coverage a lot to Chris tonight, and what they were doing was leaving Jake singled on the backside a lot of the time. So a lot of the times I just came to Jake on the backside, and he's so big and strong, he can bully most defensive backs he plays against, and came up with some big plays tonight for us.
What's encouraging about an overtime loss?
It's really hard to say. I think the biggest thing that we come out of this game with is that we didn't give up, and we played hard, and we left it all out here. If you can do that as a professional athlete, there's not much more you can do. You know, you're going to always think about things you could have did right and did wrong, but as long as you know your effort was there, I think that's the most important thing you can come out of any loss with.
Warren Moon, your workday is done. Thanks for joining us, and tough luck tonight. Warren Moon and the Vikings falling in overtime to the Dallas Cowboys. Back to Atlanta, Vince and Mayday, guys.
Thanks, CJ. Oh, come on, Warren. Can't you stick around a little bit longer? Just another half hour. Want to work you a little bit more. Let's go back now to the Chiefs in the Raiders game. And Art Shell, as head coach of the Raiders, at times criticized that his team underachieved when he was head coach. And just, you know, your take on this whole thing and how special this was for Shell.
Well, it's very special for Art Shell as a head coach. He spent 26 years of his life with the Oakland Raiders. When he dies, he's kind of bleed black and silver. But you have to look at it this way. Art was in a different position. He was the head coach of the Raiders, which means before he could pull the trigger on any major decision, he had to go to Al Davis.
Okay, now on the other side of the coin, the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's Steve Bono, 14 career NFL starts. He got 4 fourth-quarter comebacks now, and that's pretty positive. And this guy is no Joe Montana, but I'll tell you what, he's 3-0.
Oh, without a doubt. You can build on these things for the rest of the season. This is something you can take to the bank. They've got confidence now. Last week they were down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, came back to win against the Giants. Today they were down in the fourth quarter, came back to tie the game. They blew a chip field goal shot of 24 yards that sent it into overtime. Marcus Allen fumbles the ball inside the 40-yard line, and they still win the football game. So they can build on that. They've got confidence. They know down the road Steve Bono will lead them to victory.
All right, let's stay in the AFC West right now. And it's one thing to be booed in Philadelphia. That's happened to everyone from Mike Schmidt to Santa Claus. It's another to be benched. Randall Cunningham was walking that fine line. Rodney Peete was ready. And so were the visiting San Diego Chargers at the vet. Hey, Randall, for once, please stand up and take charge. Please, for once. Just one time. Scoreless in the first. Look at Leslie O'Neal just overpowering the rookie Barrett Brooks, and he puts a lick on Randall Cunningham. But Cunningham showing some guile there, and on the touchdown drive, a flip to Ricky Waters from 5 yards out, and that made it 7-0 Eagles. There's the Charger GM and personal friend of Mark Mays, Bobby Beathard, looking on. He's got a pretty good ball club.
He kept me in the league.
He did. Stan Humphries back to pass. That ball was jarred loose, and somehow it's going to be knocked back to Humphries. So that was just a pretty weird play. Things would bounce the Chargers' way. They got a field goal. It was 14-10. And then look at the hit late on Calvin Williams. Willie Clark got him, and Junior Seau, who had never scored an NFL touchdown, finally does right there on the fumble return. 17-14 Chargers in the second. Eagle coach Ray Rhodes, he's a little concerned, but he's keeping Cunningham in there. And Randall, under pressure, hit by Sean Lee from behind, and Chris Mims from Randall Cunningham, and that cut it to 27-21. Same score in the fourth. Eagles driving, Leslie O'Neal. Look at Brooks, he's having problems again. Randall gets by him, but look at the lick Junior Seau puts on Randall Cunningham. Slams him down, and Randall could not rally the Eagles back as the Chargers go on to win on the road, 27-21. The Eagles have lost 5 in a row at home. You want some fantasy numbers? Here we go. San Diego, Jefferson, 4 catches, 67 yards and a touchdown. Humphries, 143 passing and the score. For Philadelphia, Waters, 76 yards on the ground. He caught 6 for 19 yards and a touchdown. Redskins and the Broncos, and easily the best game of the day. This at Mile High Stadium, and Norv Turner, his scrappy young team. Well, I'll tell you what, they took the Broncos absolutely down to the wire. Here's a kind of a frightening moment. Shannon Sharp goes down after being tripped up by Rod Stevens. X-rays on the ankle, though, were negative. More on that in a minute. 3-0 in the second quarter. Denver leading. Redskins run the option. And Brian Mitchell, a 36-yard touchdown run, longest of his career. 7-3 Skins. And the Broncos can't believe it. We couldn't believe it. 17-7 Denver in the second. Coming back are the Broncos. 21 answered points in the second quarter, capped by this Terrell Davis touchdown run. Apparently fumbles before the goal line, and the Skins recover, but the ref said, no, that is a touch. He crossed the goal line, 24-7 Denver. Skins strike back. The rookie Michael Westbrook. What a great catch here. 45 yards from Gus Farrat. That set up a Farrat touchdown pass. The Skins were trailing by 10. Hey, Norv, what's up? Denver up by 7 in the fourth. Skins driving Farrat. His favorite target, Westbrook. This kid's all over the place. Another great catch. And that set up points. Farrat to Scott Galbraith, 1 yard out with 1:07 left in the fourth quarter. It was tied at 31. And under a minute left in the game, John Elway, oh, he hates comebacks. He hates when he has to come from behind. 25 yards to Ed McCaffrey with a catch. And then with no time left, on a fourth down situation, out of field goal range, Elway steps up, and look at this. Rod Smith leaping over Darrell Green for the touchdown with no time remaining. A dramatic catch. It's Smith's first ever NFL catch on a 43-yard touchdown that wins it for Denver, 38-31. 35 fourth-quarter game-saving drives now in Elway's career. He threw for 327 and 2 touchdowns. Farrat threw for 3 touchdowns as well. So, you know what? That guy might have to play quarterback no matter what. Fantasy numbers, Terrell Davis, 13 carries, 68 yards, and a couple of scores. Marcus Allen, 18 rushes, or Terry Allen, rather, 18 rushes and 92 yards there. And Mark, what do we got? Where are we at here? Oh, San Diego. That's where we're. That's where it's late. San Diego. All right, the Chargers, and you know, going up there. And here's a team that really had no respect as the AFC champion, but they go up and score a win there, and a great job by the San Diego defense.
Oh, an excellent job by the San Diego defense. After getting blown away in the Super Bowl last year, they made a lot of changes on defense. Junior Seau's first statement was, "Hey, we played soft on defense. We can't do anything better." The thing that they did is they went out, they got Dave Adolph. They changed their defensive philosophy. They revamped their secondary after Jerry Rice just scorched them in the Super Bowl last year. They bring in Sean Gale, Bo Orlando to their secondary, and they also are starting a rookie back there, Bernard Shaw at cornerback. So they revamped their secondary. They're getting more aggressive on defense. They're moving Junior around, inside, outside, blitzing, putting pressure on the quarterback. They're more aggressive this year. They're playing better this year, and they're going to sneak up on some teams in the AFC West. Everyone's forgetting about them because they got routed in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and Denver with that dramatic win, but they did pay the price. Shannon Sharp has the sprained left ankle. Miller, bruised ribs and a concussion. Mike Pritchard, bruised left knee. Ed McCaffrey suffered a concussion on that final drive, so they did have to pay the price in that game. All right, coming up on the show, much more on the Steel postgame report, including the buddy system working in Pontiac. Buddy Ryan looking for that first win. Ditto the Lions. Barry Sanders with an uncharacteristic mistake late in the game.
Some would say going 100,000 copies without an unscheduled service call is impressive. Sharp would say It's a beginning. Sharp. Call for your free interactive kit of copier solutions.
Thanks to Sprint Business, there's a company who does more business in skis.
Sprint gave us an edge.
Sprint worked with Volant and brought them real solutions to help them get ahead so they can check orders online from anywhere and promote new products through video conferencing. Now they do business a whole new way.
And sales are really soaring.
We'll help your business do more business. Call Sprint Business.
Sharp has something to help you succeed in business. It's cutting edge, high speed, and extremely interactive. It's your authorized Sharp dealer. Sharp. Call for your free interactive kit of Sharp.
Buy. Now.
It's Ford's factory authorized clearance, so now is utterly the best time to get the best deals you ever, heard.
Big.
Get big cash back.
Low.
The lowest financing. Plus, special factory incentives that can save you hundreds, even thousands. Factory authorized clearance is causing quite a stampede, so steer on down. Your Indiana Ford dealer's the one.
Who will be in today's Winner Spotlight?
Imagine our friend Kate on TV. Oh, I hope she wins.
She's had such a rough time with money since Peter died last year.
Didn't he have insurance? Social Security? Well, at least she could bury him with that.
Don't count on it. Social Security pays only $255.
What are people our age supposed to do?
Tom and I got additional life insurance from Colonial Penn. We each pay only $6.95 per unit of coverage a month.
Nobody would insure me at my age.
Colonial Penn will.
If you're over 50, you can get needed life insurance protection from Colonial Penn. It's only $6.95 per unit per month. Benefits won't decrease simply because you grow older, and your rates won't increase. If you're over 50, you cannot be turned down. So call now.
Call toll-free 1-800-664-2020 and receive this free guide to Social Security. Call 1-800-664-2020. That's 1-800-664-2020.
And welcome back to the Steel Postgame Report. Hey, guys. How you doing back there? Things going okay? That's it. Not watching at all. We want to remind you that coming up after the show, we have another encore presentation of very special feature, Joe Montana, The Fire Inside. It's a 2-hour special profiling one of the great athletes, not only in the NFL, but in any sport ever. And that's immediately following the Steel Postgame Report. But we do have some more football to fire through, and we want to start with a big matchup of 0-2 teams, if there is such a thing. It happened in Detroit. Arizona was groping after a couple of weeks. The buddy system didn't apply. Ex-Lion Dave Craig may have gotten yanked again. He did not this time, but he was calling for maybe some help at Pontiac because the Lions were after him.
He's definitely calling for help. As you can see, the defense comes up here. They're showing 7 blitzers. The offensive line gets confused. Nobody blocks Robert Forsythe, the defensive end, and he's all over Dave Craig for the sack. They need to be better coached. You're not understanding their offensive philosophies here. Here you can see left tackle, Ernest Dye. His head is down. He's jumping at the shoelaces. If you want to cut a defensive lineman, you cut him at the thigh, and Dave Craig goes down again, one of 7 sacks of the day.
Well, I'll tell you what, one thing you can do is hand off to Barry Sanders. And there's Barry Sanders cutting through some Cardinals. I think it was a 14-yard pickup. Barry Sanders in a penalty-filled game. Sanders, meet the official. You heard from him a lot during the course of the ball game. And clearly this was Detroit's game. There's Mitchell, and that's Perryman. Somehow shaking every Cardinal in the area for the touchdown. And then just rapture in the end zone. Buddy Ryan, he's happy to have Greg Davis with him, I'll tell you that. Here's Davis, the field goal, 55 yards. Arizona's first points. Another field goal made it 10-6 Lions at the half. What about the Lion ground attack? He wears number 20. There's Barry Sanders cutting back. So dangerous when he does that. And he is gone. 47 yards for the touchdown, 17-6. The Lions out in front. But in the fourth quarter, after 2 Cardinal field goals, the Lions give it to the reliable Barry Sanders. Take a look at this. Rare video of Sanders fumbling. First time he ever did that in 803 touches of the football. That fumble led to this. Dave Craig on 4th and 10 unloads to the end zone. Anthony Edwards has it. The 2-point conversion was there, and Buddy Ryan got a winner going out of town. 20-17 was the final. Arizona does it and picks up its first win. Detroit falling to 0-3. First time that's happened since Barry Sanders was a rookie in '89. How about the fantasy numbers? Dave Craig, 158 and a touchdown. Davis had the 4 field goals. He was a weapon. Perryman, 7 catches, 114 yards. Mitchell, 217 and a touchdown. Also today, the Giants at Green Bay, and 14-6. Green Bay comes away with a win that drops the New York Giants to 0-3. First time a Dan Reeves team has ever started at 0-3. We'll give you some fantasy numbers from there. Brooks, 5 catches, 47 yards and a touch. Ingram had a touchdown reception. Edgar Bennett, 23 carries and 87 yards. And Favre threw for 2 touchdowns for the 11th straight game. It's one shy of an NFL record. All right, Mark May. What about it? What about those Cardinals and Lions? And Buddy Ryan, man, they were outplayed in that game, but somehow pulled out a victory.
Did Buddy say when he came to town, roll the window down, hand me an Oscar Mayer wiener around, or you've got a winner in town? But the Cardinals pulled one out today. They stole one from the Detroit Lions at Detroit today. You've got to question Wayne Fontz's offense. Not his defense. They came up with 7 big sacks today of Dave Craig, but his offense. You've got a new offensive coordinator for the 4th time in 4 years, a new quarterback coach, and in the 3rd quarter when they had a chance to put the stake in the Cardinals' heart on a 4th and 1 at the goal line on the 1-yard line, they get stuffed and they can't get in the end zone.
Yeah, how'd you like to be Wayne Fonts? After you start 2 on the road, you come home, at the end of the game, they're chanting, Wayne must go. Wayne must go at the end of the game.
But he can't feel too bad. They gave him a 2-year extension last year, so next year's a freebie anyway.
What does he care? All right, coming up on the Steel postgame report, we have much more to talk about, including a big NFC Central Division clash at Tampa Stadium. Here's Eric Kramer back to pass and looking for his new favorite receiver, a guy wearing a sash.
Presenting TBS Award Wednesday. This Wednesday, America remembers her heroes. The biggest night of movies on television. TBS Award Wednesday, 8:05 Eastern Wednesday, only on TBS.
Can you tell which man is at home and which is in a Residence Inn hotel room?
Honey, can you take out the garbage?
That was a hint. Residence Inn by Marriott. The next best thing to home.
I cannot believe we're going to this game.
Come on! Game starts in 20 minutes!
Sandy!
Oh, my.
Woo! I'm coming!
What is even there?
He's looking good!
What a geek. Let's go.
Be a fan, not a fanatic. Look your best in Lee Sport official NFL apparel, licensed by the NFL, NHL, NBA, and Major League Baseball. Lee Sport, the brand for fans like you.
Look what Daddy can juggle with his Nokia cellular phone. A rubber duck and a teddy bear. A Nokia cellular phone, a rubber duck, and a teddy bear. And with my Nokia cellular phone, I can juggle something even more amazing. My schedule.
One-touch dialing makes a Nokia cellular phone easy to use.
Hello?
Amazing.
Nokia cellular phones.
Someday in the future, every car will be maintained by Precision Tune. Every brake job, oil change, and scheduled maintenance service will be performed by our skilled technicians at prices that are the envy of dealerships. All backed by our 12-month, 12,000-mile guarantee, leaving tow trucks free to spend their time on more artistic pursuits. Precision Tune, a lot more than tune-ups.
Welcome back to the Steel postgame show, and of course the oils done by Gene Locklear. He's our personal Rembrandt, and he's always with us. All right, big NFC Central Division game. You got to win games in that division. I'll tell you what, because 8-8 could be good enough to get you to the party in postseason. Chicago at Tampa Bay, and oh, those Buccaneers, that first win at Philadelphia in Week 1 seems like so long ago. What a tough game. Rashaan Salam, oh my God, his head's in that helmet. Second quarter, 6-3 Bears and Eric Kramer. Mark, who's he throwing to right here?
The Buccaneer mascot seems to have more receptions than Elvin Harper at about $12 million over 3 years for the Buccaneers.
That's quite a get-up, too. 9-3 Chicago in the